Hello and welcome to the final part 4 of this inventory of my instruments. 2014 2014 I bought the Santa Cruz. That's all I bought that year. And 2015 I had my Style O, which was a beautiful instrument, but it was so loud and so heavy that I got a backache even sitting playing it like this here, and I wasn't taking it out. But I was thinking a wooden bodied one. Mando Bob had bought a wooden bodied one and I was quite jealous. So I started looking around for an Estrelita like this, and I found one for sale, reasonably priced I thought, in a shop about 50-60 miles away. A very well-known good shop, and so I went along and I took my Style O. Here's a lesson: I hadn't done my research. I didn't know the value of my Style O, which I thought all Nationals were pretty much the same price whatever body they had on them, and not true. So I went in and I had a look at this and I thought it was okay, alright. And I could do that, and that was what I was thinking about doing. Rather influenced by the Romeros, Faris and Jason Romero, and I saw him playing a resonator that he built himself, and I thought, yeah, I want one of those. And so I said, would you have any interest in the Style O? What I should have done is I should have sold the Style O before I bought this. And they said, straight swap, and I thought, oh, yeah, all right then. And then got home and realised that my Style O was worth a lot more than this. And a little while later, again, a lesson to be learned. I hadn't really looked at the action, and the action on the saddle was very, very low, and it needed a reset. Historically, there's only been one person in the UK that could do a neck reset on a National, and on his website it gave me two messages. One, it was going to be extremely expensive, and two, he didn't really want to do it. And so he's busy making his own instruments now, not resonators. So I asked my tech, David Walsh from Eternal Guitars, and he was willing to take on the job. He had to speak to Dave, the national expert guy, who helped him out, and he did the job, and it's fine now. So it cost me a little bit more than it should have done, and don't actually use it much, but it's a lovely guitar and it plays with slide very nicely. And of course this was 2014 and black clouds were gathering for me. I didn't quite know it at the time. So that was my first purchase. That was my only purchase, I think, in 2015. 2016 I didn't really have any plans to buy anything, but again, influenced by one of my favourite acts, I started looking at old small Gibsons. In fact, a friend of mine turned up at my club with a Gibson LOO that he had rebuilt himself, and it was superb. And so I decided towards the end of 2016 to go and check out in this shop where I bought the Estrelita. They had a lot of different versions of the LOO by Gibson in there at the time, and I'd already seen a consultant about this strange feeling in my throat. I knew something was up by a look on his face when he tested me, checked me out, and so I thought, well, maybe this is a last fling. And so I went there and tried all the Gibsons. None of them suited me, but they did have this Waterloo there, made by Collings. Won't be any structural issues. But I was thinking about a small guitar for playing lead mainly over over someone else's guitar, trying to think about that old time type stuff. And so I came home with this, and I traded in my Eastman archtop to get it, which was an ornate, beautiful carved archtop by Eastman, for a pretty primitive guitar, which was probably a bit odd, but there we go, that's what I did. And 2017, of course, was my cancer year. So nothing went on in 2017, apart from, towards the end, I saw on eBay, oh dear, I'd be so much richer if it wasn't for eBay, a very bad picture of this. Not expensive compared to some of my other instruments. A Harmony H210, but 12 fret, slotted headstock, 2-inch nut, and I had the right to return it if I didn't like it. The pictures were atrocious. The information I got from him was a bit dodgy, but he said, well, you know, I'll ship it to you. If you don't like it, you can send it back. So I did. I got it. And there was a lot wrong with it. Well, there was a lot that he hadn't told me, like a fixed patch in the back where a hole had been made for some reason. It obviously been had a neck reset, and there was a horrible scratch plate that was about 1 inch thick on it, and it turned up with 11 strings, and I think the strings were as old as the guitar, which is probably early 60s. But anyway, I took it to Dave, and he did a little bit of adjustment and stuff, and it's fine. It's fine. And so I kept it, and I was happy about that. That's all I did in 2017, apart from have cancer treatment and go through a lot of inconvenience. As soon as I traded in that Eastman archtop for the Waterloo, I missed it. Wasn't playing it, but I missed it. And then in 2018, I saw this on eBay, and it was just the model of the Eastman that I wanted, in the right finish. The guy was asking what as appropriate used price for it. He didn't want to ship it. Again, he, like other people have said, I said I'm too ill to travel, but you know, I'd be quite interested in it, but you know, you'd have to ship it for it. Don't want to ship. And he agreed to bring it down. Oh, okay. So he brought it down, and we opened the box, and I said, whoa, what's all that? And it got a lot of finish checking for a 2008 instrument, a lot of finish checking, and some other bits and pieces that were wrong about it. So he said, oh, I didn't realise about that. Turns out that he was selling a batch of guitars for a friend of his that had come into a lot of money, spent it all on guitars, didn't know what to do with them, and put them into a storage facility. So this went through a few summers and winters in a large container, getting very hot and very cold. Frets were sticking out all over the place, neck had shrunk. But I took it to Dave, and Dave looked at it and he said, I think I can set that up and sort that out, which he did. Well, he didn't do it at that time. And he said the finish is very fragile, but if you're not going to go and gig it every night, it's probably okay. So, I made an offer, a very, very low offer, and the guy took it. And so I paid him that, and I now have my lovely Eastman AR805, and one day when I grow up I might learn to do it justice. And so that's where we are. Oh, the other thing that I haven't brought down is Mando Bob and I both got interested. We've got a friend who we used to play with in a bluegrass band who buys and sells banjos a bit, and he approached me with a banjo, a 100-year-old banjo, which was a bit of this and a bit of that, and I didn't fancy it. Bob bought it, But then I started getting an itch for a banjo, and so my wife bought me one of these modern Chinese recording king banjos, which is fine. And for Christmas last year, 2018, from the kids I got a banjo chord book and a banjo capo, and so I've got to do something with that this year. So we're up to date now. That's kind of my collection. A lot of guitars have gone away, of course, and I've got too many. And I'm 71 any minute now, and I don't know where I'm going to play these all, but this year, 2019, if I am allowed, I'm going to go out and I'm going to sing and play as much as I can. I've got 5 gigs booked already, starting in March, and so I hope I'm going to enjoy some more music this year. So if you have been, thanks for watching. Thank you for your patience with all these. I hope they work out all right. Done a lot of running up and downstairs with guitars, and I hope it's been of interest. Thanks for watching. Bye.